Gentlemen, welcome to 2026. Look in the mirror. Does your reflection show a man of power and relevance or a ghost stuck in the past? Here is the brutal truth. Trying to dress young is exactly what makes you look old. It screams of desperation. On the flip side, dressing purely for comfort signals that you've given up on life. Your goal is not to look 25. Your goal is to look dangerous, capable, and vital at 50, 60, and beyond. Today, we are identifying 7 specific style mistakes that act as aging accelerants. These are the habits that are sabotaging your image right now. We are deleting them today. Mistake 1, the cling wrap. Fit gentlemen, we need to perform an exorcism. We need to banish the skinny fit ghost of the 2000s and 10s once and for all. I see far too many men over 50 squeezing themselves into jeans that look like they were spray painted on, or button-down shirts where the fabric is straining so hard across the midsection that the buttons are screaming for mercy. This is what I call the cling wrap effect. You're wrapping yourself in fabric so tight, it reveals every single lump, bump, and shift in your anatomy. Here is the brutal physiological reality. As we age, our body composition shifts. Even if you are fit, your weight distribution changes. Gravity takes over. Your legs might get thinner while your midsection softens. When you wear super skinny or aggressive slim fit clothing, and you're not highlighting your physique, you are highlighting your age. You create the lollipop effect, a heavy upper body balancing precariously on 2 tiny stick-like legs. It looks unstable. It looks uncomfortable. And ironically, by trying to wear the clothes of a 20-year-old rock star, you end up looking like an older man undergoing a midlife crisis. In 2026, the pendulum of style has swung back to where it belongs, proportion and drape. Old money style has always understood this. Luxury is about comfort and movement. A wealthy man does not wear clothes that cut off his blood circulation. He wears clothes that skim the body. The fix, the tailored silhouette. You need to upgrade your vocabulary. Delete skinny from your search filters. I replace it with tailored fit, straight leg, or classic taper for trousers. You want a clean line from the hip to the shoe. The fabric should not hug your calves. There should be enough room in the thigh so that when you sit down, you don't fear a seam ripping. A straight leg cut adds visual weight to your lower body, balancing out your shoulders and belly, making you look powerful and planted, not top-heavy. For shirts, the fabric should drape over your torso, not cling to it. If you can see the outline of your nipples or your navel through the shirt, it is too tight. A proper shirt frames the body. It does not trace it. You want a structured fit, broad in the shoulders, slightly tapered at the waist, but with enough room to breathe. Remember, elegance requires movement. The fabric needs air. When you walk, your trousers should move with a fluid grace, known in tailoring as the drape. Skinny jeans do not drape. They strangle. Stop wrapping yourself like a leftover sandwich. Give your body the respect and the room it deserves. Mistake 2, the puddle, pant break. If skinny fit is the mistake of trying to look too young, the puddle is the mistake that confirms you have given up. Look down at your feet right now. Where do your trousers end? Do they finish with a clean, decisive line, or do they collapse into a messy, chaotic pile of fabric on top of your shoes, looking like a melted candle or a deflated accordion? This, gentlemen, is the puddle, and it is the single fastest way to destroy the line of a suit or the crispness of a casual outfit. Here's why this is a catastrophe for the man over 50. Visually, a pile of excess fabric at the ankle acts as an anchor. It drags the viewer's eye downward and keeps it there. It creates the optical illusion that your legs are shorter than they actually are, but psychologically, that it sends a much worse signal, the shrinking man syndrome. When an older man wears pants that are 3 inches too long, he looks like he has physically shrunk inside his own clothes since he bought them. He looks like a child wearing his father's oversized trousers. It projects frailty, carelessness, and a lack of attention to detail. You're telling the world, I bought these off the rack, they didn't fit, and I didn't care enough to fix them. In the year 2026, the standard for the old money aesthetic is precision. We're not looking for high water pants that show off your entire calf. That's a fleeting trend for teenagers. We are looking for the shivering break or the slight break, the fix, the $15 miracle. The solution to this problem does not require buying new clothes. It requires a relationship with a tailor. Hemming a pair of trousers is the cheapest alteration you can do, yet it offers the highest return on investment, ROI, for your style. The no break, the modern standard, the trouser hem just barely kisses the top of the shoe leather. There is no folding of the fabric. The line of the leg remains perfectly straight from hip to ankle. This is the cleanest, most lengthening look. It makes you look taller and sharper. The slight break, the conservative choice. The trouser creates one single subtle fold where it meets the shoe. This is acceptable and classic. The cuff, the power move. If you are wearing flannel or heavier wool trousers, ask your tailor for a 1.5 inch to 2 inch cuff, turn up. The extra weight of the folded fabric pulls the trouser leg down straight, ensuring a perfect drape and adding a touch of traditional high-status weight to the garment. Do not trust the mirror in the shop, and do not trust the standard length on the tag. A 32-inch inseam from one brand is different from a 32-inch inseam from another. Take every single pair of pants you own to a tailor. Have them pinned while wearing your dress shoes, not in socks. Eliminate the puddle. When your trousers hang correctly, you don't just look neater, you look structurally sound. You look like a man who measures his life with precision. But mistake 3, the gym teacher, sneaker. This is without a doubt the most widespread pandemic in men's fashion over 50. I call it the gym teacher syndrome. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You see a man who is otherwise well-dressed. He's wearing a nice polo shirt and decent jeans, but when you look down, the entire outfit is violently assassinated by a pair of neon yellow, technical mesh, chunky-soled running shoes. They look like alien spaceships parked at the bottom of his legs. Let me be clear, I am not attacking comfort. I understand that at 50, 60, or 70, your knees might ache and your back requires support, but there's a massive difference between comfort and laziness. Running shoes are specialized tools. They are designed for one specific purpose, running. Wearing them to a nice dinner, a business casual meeting, or a date is a category error. It is equivalent to wearing a swimming cap to the office because it keeps my hair in place. It signals to the world that you have completely sacrificed aesthetics for utility. It screams, I am an old man. My feet hurt, and I don't care how ridiculous I look. The problem is the visual clash. The complex, aggressive lines of a modern running shoe, the logos, the reflectors, the shock absorbers, fight against the clean, simple lines of tailored clothing. It creates a jarring dissonance. You look like a tourist who got lost on the way to a marathon. The fix, the luxury minimalist upgrade. In 2026, technology has solved this problem. You no longer have to choose between looking good and walking without pain. You have two superior options, the minimalist leather sneaker. This is the old money standard for casual footwear. It is typically white, gray, or navy leather. It has a flat, consistent sole. It has no logos, no neon stripes, and no technical mesh. Because the design is simple, it essentially mimics the silhouette of a dress shoe, but with the comfort of a sneaker. It respects the hem of your trousers. It whispers wealth instead of shouting marathon. The hybrid dress shoe. We are living in the golden age of footwear engineering. Brands now make shoes that look like classic leather brogues or Oxfords on the top, but possess the memory foam insole and athletic outsole of a performance sneaker on the bottom. They are breathable, flexible, and supportive. Gentlemen, reserve the neon Asics and the bulky Hokas for the treadmill or the hiking trail. When you are living your life, walking through the city, meeting friends, enjoying a Sunday brunch, put on a shoe that complements your outfit, not one that insults it. You can walk on clouds without looking like you're about to blow a whistle and demand 20 push-ups. Mistake 4, the visible undershirt, the white triangle. Gentlemen, we need to discuss a geometric disaster that is likely happening right below your chin at this very moment. I call it the white triangle of death. It happens when you wear a crisp, beautiful button-down shirt, you unbutton the top collar to look relaxed and approachable, but then you ruin the entire effect by exposing the cheap, ribbed collar of a white cotton crew neck undershirt underneath. This is a relic of the 1990s. It screams junior accountant or IT support. It is the uniform of a man who is afraid, afraid of sweating, afraid of showing skin, or simply afraid of changing his habits. Let's be crystal clear about the rules of elegance. An undershirt is underwear. It belongs in the same category as your boxer briefs. Showing your undershirt to the world is functionally equivalent to pulling your underwear up above your waistband. It is not a layer, it is a mistake. Why is this so damaging to your image? First, it destroys the V-line. When you open your shirt collar, you create a natural V shape that elongates your neck and frames your face. This is universally flattering. By filling that gap with a white horizontal band of cotton, you visually decapitate yourself. You shorten your neck and make your face look rounder. Second, it destroys the sprezzatura. The open collar suggests ease, confidence, and sex appeal. The visible undershirt suggests you are wearing a safety blanket. It looks stuffy, childish, and unsophisticated. Furthermore, most men make the mistake of wearing a white undershirt under a white dress shirt. This is an amateur move, and white contrasts against your skin tone, unless you are paper white, creating a visible outline of the t-shirt underneath your dress shirt. You end up looking like you are wearing a bib. The fix, the invisible strategy. In 2026, we do not abandon hygiene. We still want to manage sweat, but we upgrade the technology. The deep V-neck. If you must wear an undershirt, buy a deep V. The neckline plunges low enough that it remains completely invisible even when your top two buttons are undone. The color switch. Stop buying white undershirts, switch to heather gray or a tone that matches your skin. Gray blends with most skin tones much better than white, making the undershirt virtually disappear under a white dress shirt. It absorbs the light rather than reflecting it. Go commando. If the weather permits and you are wearing a high-quality cotton shirt, like an Oxford cloth, try skipping the base layer entirely. Feeling the fabric against your skin is luxurious, cooling, and undeniably masculine. Stop letting your underwear photobomb your outfit. And keep the architecture of your collar clean, sharp, and uninterrupted. Mistake 5. The Logo Billboard. Gentlemen, I have a serious question for you. Are these luxury fashion houses paying you a monthly salary? Because unless Dolce & Gabbana is writing you a check every Friday, there's absolutely no reason for you to be walking around with their names plastered across your chest in giant neon letters. This is the mistake of the Logo Billboard, and it is the ultimate sign of insecurity in a man over 50. In the psychological hierarchy of style, there is a distinct difference between new money and old money. New money shouts. It wants everyone to know the price tag. It wears the giant gold H belt buckle, Hermes, or the GG, Gucci. It wears the t-shirt with a brand name written in font size 72 across the torso. It is desperate for validation. It screams, please respect me. I spent $500 on this t-shirt. It creates a barrier between you and others because it looks arrogant and tacky. But here is the hard truth for the mature man. When a 20-year-old rapper wears aggressive logos, it is a costume. It is part of the hype or culture. When a 50-year-old man wears them, it looks like a midlife crisis. It suggests that you do not feel interesting, accomplished, or valuable enough on your own. So you're attempting to borrow value from a corporation. You are letting a marketing department define your worth. In 2026, logomania is dead. The culture has shifted. We have moved into the era of stealth wealth and quiet luxury. True luxury is silent. It is about the hand feel of the fabric, not the print on the front. A $3,000 Loro Piana sweater has no logo. A bespoke Savile Row suit has no label on the sleeve. Why? Because the quality speaks so loudly that a logo is unnecessary. The people who matter, the people with real taste, real influence, and real wealth do not need to read a label to know you are successful. And they can see it in the drape of your cashmere, the stitching of your lapel, and the patina of your full-grain leather. They recognize the quality, not the marketing. The fix, the no logo diet. Your assignment is simple. Go through your wardrobe today. If a shirt, a sweater, or a jacket has a brand name or a logo larger than a small coin, donate it to a teenager. If your belt buckle is a letter of the alphabet, replace it with a simple silver or brass rectangular frame. You want hardware that's functional, not promotional. Look for sterile design. Your clothes should serve as a frame for your face, not a distraction from it. When you walk into a room, people should say, that is a beautiful jacket, not, oh, that is a Gucci jacket. Be the masterpiece, not the billboard. Mistake 6, the cargo dependence. We have arrived at the most stubborn addiction in the male wardrobe, the cargo short. I understand the appeal. You are a man. You like utility. You like pockets. You like the idea that if civilization collapses while you are buying milk, you have enough storage space in your pants to carry a survival kit, a flashlight, 3 sets of keys, and a water bottle. But unless you are currently deployed in a combat zone, hiking through the Amazon rainforest, or working as a plumber, cargo shorts are aesthetically indefensible in 2026. Here is the visual problem. The cargo pocket adds bulk exactly where you do not want it, the hips and the thighs. It destroys the vertical line of the leg. When you fill those pockets with your wallet, phone, and keys, you create unsightly lumps that swing back and forth like saddlebags on a donkey. It widens your silhouette horizontally, making you look shorter and dumpier. Furthermore, cargo shorts are almost always cut too long, past the knee, and made of cheap, baggy cotton. This creates the man-child proportion. It screams suburban dad at a BBQ or confused tourist. It is arguably the least sexy garment a man can own. It signals to the world that you view clothing purely as a storage device, not as a presentation of self. You are sacrificing your dignity for the sake of carrying an extra set of keys you don't need. In the old money aesthetic, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. A gentleman does not need to carry his entire life in his trousers. He travels light. He is streamlined. The fix, the Riviera upgrade. It is time to trade the tactical look for the resort look. Flat front chino shorts. If you must wear shorts, they should look like your dress trousers, just cut shorter. No side pockets, no pleats, a clean, flat front. The length is critical. They should hit 2 to 3 inches above the knee, usually a 7-inch or 9-inch inseam. This shows a bit of quad muscle, which is masculine and athletic, and it lengthens the leg line. Linen trousers. In 2026, men are realizing that shorts are not the only way to stay cool. A pair of loose-fitting, high-waisted linen trousers is actually cooler than heavy cotton cargo shorts because the fabric breathes and blocks the sun. This is pure Italian weekend style. It protects your legs from mosquitoes and UV rays while looking infinitely more elegant. So the storage solution. But where do I put my stuff? First, audit your everyday carry, EDC. You don't need a wallet the size of a brick. Get a slim card holder. Second, use a jacket. A lightweight field jacket or blazer has interior pockets that hold items against your chest, keeping your silhouette clean. Third, if you really have a lot to carry, use a leather folio or a handsome weekender bag. Stop dressing like you are preparing for a zombie apocalypse. Dress like you are preparing for a glass of wine on a yacht. Mistake 7, dyeing hard, shoe polish hair. We arrive now at the final and perhaps the most painful mistake. It is the mistake of vanity over dignity. I'm talking about the decision to dye your hair jet black or chocolate brown at the age of 55, resulting in what we call shoe polish hair. Gentlemen, I understand the fear. You see the gray coming in, and you feel your youth slipping away. You panic. You go to the drugstore, buy a box of dye, and cover your head in a chemical sludge. But here is the harsh reality. You are not fooling anyone. Not a single person looks at a 60-year-old man with ink black opaque hair and thinks, wow, he has great genetics. They think he is terrified of getting old. The problem with shoe polish hair is that it is one-dimensional. A natural hair, even on a teenager, has highlights, lowlights, as in variation. Box dye covers every single strand in the exact same saturated pigment. It looks flat. It looks like a helmet made of Lego plastic. Furthermore, there is the issue of skin tone. As we age, the pigment in our skin naturally fades. It becomes more translucent and slightly paler. Nature is intelligent. It turns your hair gray to soften the contrast against your aging skin. When you dye your hair dark, you create a harsh, high-contrast frame around your face. This draws immediate attention to every wrinkle, every sunspot, and every bag under your eyes. Instead of looking younger, you look like a wax museum figure. You look harsh, severe, and ironically, older. In 2026, the definition of masculine beauty is authenticity. The silver fox is the ultimate archetype of the high-value man. Think of the most distinguished men in the world. They own their silver. Silver hair signals experience, wisdom, and tenure. It says, I have survived, I have triumphed, and I am comfortable in my own skin. The fix, the silver fox. Protocol, stop the dye, cold turkey. Let it grow out. It will be awkward for 2 months. Wear a hat. But once the silver comes in, you will be amazed at how much brighter your face looks. Focus on the cut. Gray hair has a different texture. It can be wiry and unruly. The secret to looking like a silver fox and not a mad scientist is a frequent sharp haircut. Keep the sides short and tidy. Texture is more important than color. Purple shampoo. Silver hair can sometimes turn yellow due to sun exposure or pollution. Buy a high-quality purple shampoo, silver shampoo, and use it once a week. It neutralizes the brassy tones and makes your white hair look like platinum. The blending option. If you absolutely must color your hair, go to a high-end professional and ask for gray blending. They will not cover the gray. They will simply add some pepper lowlights to reduce the percentage of white from 100% to 50%. It leaves the temples gray, which looks distinguished, and keeps the transparency natural. Do not fight the timeline. Own it. A confident man with silver hair will always outshine an insecure man with a box of black dye. Gentlemen, aging is mandatory, but looking old is optional. The 7 mistakes we covered today are not just clothing errors, they are mindset errors. They signal fear, insecurity, and stagnation. By eliminating them, you are not just changing your outfit, you are changing the narrative of your life. You are telling the world that you are relevant, current, and comfortable in your own skin. Don't be the man who clings to the past. Be the man who defines the future. I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 mistakes have you been guilty of? Be honest in the comments below. And if you're ready to replace these mistakes with a system that actually works, click here to watch my guide on the 15 items every man needs. I'll see you there. You